gangster and you don't bleed. And you the one that coughed her, no, she do wee.
I got big issues with both of these because I'm here to make the case that Golden State team was overrated.
Okay.
I'm sorry because look at what happened. LeBron had them on the ropes in 2015, the year before, and he didn't even have Kyrie and Kevin Love, and he had them on the ropes.
Right.
They're up 2 games to 1. Game 4 is in LeBron's house, and he spit the bit. I thought this was going to be his greatest achievement because I told you that 3-game stretch going into that was the greatest I've ever seen. He was just carrying that team by himself. Yeah. He was exposing the Warriors because they were in big trouble. And in Game 4, in his house, he shot 7 of 22 and 1 for 4 from 3 and 5 of 10 from the free throw line. And they got blown out by 21, and that was the end of it because the Golden State just took it over from there, thanks mostly to Iguodala coming off the bench into the starting lineup. Okay, so then we fast forward to the next year. And I got to tell you, Steph got exposed in games 4, 5, and 6 because I dare anybody to go look at his numbers from 4, 5, and 6. He had 7 assists to 12 turnovers in those 3 games. Yeah. And the deeper they got, the worse he got because in the fourth quarters of those 3 last games that they lost in a row, he shot 6 of 20 from the floor and 3 of 12 from 3 and never got to the free throw line in any of those 3 fourth quarters. And remember, the last fourth quarter in Game 7 in his house in Oracle, he shot 1 of 6 and 1 of 5 from 3 and had that horrendous behind-the-back turnover. He threw it in the 12th row. Remember that?
We did that.
Okay, you did do a lot of great things, and I give you that. But Kyrie made the shot of shots to finally slam the door on Golden State. Okay, and remember, that whole series turned on a suspension I have never, ever seen. In the middle of an NBA Finals, the commissioner and company decided that guy has to go for a game. And they're up 3-1. We're going to Game 5 back at Oracle. Remember this?
Tell Draymond to think he had Radio City Music Hall. He a Rockette and kicked the man like he did.
Well, he also called him the B word so audibly that Kiki Vandeweghe, the Minister of Justice, could hear it in the second row.
And we were cooler heads prevailed.
Okay, but when have you ever seen a key player on a team that looked like it was bound to win a championship get suspended in the middle of an NBA Finals? They just don't do it.
Hold on. They suspended Amari Stoudemire when he shoved Robert Horry. You remember?
Okay, but he ran out. Which one are you talking about? It was versus the Spurs?
Yes.
That was in the conference final.
Yeah, they shouldn't have suspended him, and they'd have won.
Okay, I'll give you that one. But this was the NBA Finals.
Yeah, the man, you saw the man kick the man like that.
Okay, all right. But usually they just fine him.
He got a history.
Okay.
How many?
Okay. I got it. Okay, but it changed everything because all of a sudden Golden State was already shaky enough without their soul. He's their heart and soul. He's their glue player, right? And then once the momentum switched to LeBron, they could just never quite get it back. And I give LeBron all the credit. But was that hard?
Yeah.
Was that Steph got exposed? Steph shrank, played smaller than he is.
And Draymond liked to change everything. LeBron was a baritone, and then for like 2 days he was a tenor.
All right, he was. I got it. And you're right about that. But I can't give you one of the hardest ever.
Was.
Okay. Now, let's go to last year.
Has it ever been done before? Anybody ever came back in the NBA Finals?
No, okay. But last year, I promise you, this was the easiest path to a ring ever. It was so easy that the rings are made of cubic zirconia. I'm sorry. Okay, they get Portland in the first round, and Portland is 35-39, and Damian gets hurt mid-series, and it's over. It was so. They should have won Game 1, and they blew it. They're up, 7 with 6 minutes to go, and LeBron's dribbling the ball up the court. And I think this game's over, and they blew the lead.
Let me ask you a question, Skip. You never said anything about Boston 86 team when they played Jordan, who was sub 500. Am I correct? Was that team sub 500? Nobody says anything about that. We don't try to debate
Are you comparing Damian Lillard to Michael Jordan?
I'm saying, Skip, all I'm saying, they were both 8 seeds. You told me, Skip, there were some greats that had picked Portland to beat the Lakers.
A couple did.
They did.
I'm not sure they were greats, but whatever.
Charles Barkley.
Okay, all right. He was a great player, but I don't know about the commentating part. Okay, so now we moved to round 2. And right on schedule with the series tied 1-1 against Houston, Daniel House gets kicked out of the bubble. Kicked out.
Wow.
The guy that Mike D'Antoni had just said might be the most improved player in the league and had turned into one of the better players. He was integral to what they were, who they were. 3-and-D.
Skip, do you realize?
Okay, and they fell apart.
Skip, of the qualified guys, I just want to know, if I'm not mistaken, I think Daniel House was 300th in PER. Is that good?
But he had really come to life. Did you see what he did against Oklahoma City? Had 2 or 3 21-7 kind of games.
Yeah.
Whew.
You pinned
Okay,
your hopes
then
on Daniel House.
well then we move to the Clippers. Obviously the Clippers were better than the Lakers.
No, they weren't.
The Clippers were looking ahead to the Lakers. That's all they cared about the whole year. And yet they didn't want to be in the bubble, as you suggest. As my man Jared Dudley said on a podcast after the finals, those boys just didn't want to be in that bubble.
Say they ain't got nobody but love name but they self.
Okay, well that's fine.
For talking that bleep.
And guess what? The bleeping odds makers said before the playoffs started, Clippers are the favorites. And Clippers got ahead 15 on Denver in a closeout game, and 19 the next closeout, and 12 the next, and they gagged it because they're looking ahead. And you didn't have to face the Clippers, and you didn't have to face Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. You did not have to face Kevin Durant with Golden State with Stephen Clay because they were both out. It was the cleanest, clearest, nicest super highway to a finals, to a ring you could ever ask for.
Mike and Mary. Billie Jean. Christian Dior,